Yo, what is going on, you guys? Bastion White here, and today I'm going to be coming at you with my true Draco deck profile post the October 2022 ban list. Now, after the October 22 ban list, you can you can't see it right here on the screen just yet, but we actually got the second best true Draco monster to ever be released, Dynamite Knight, the true Draco fighter. We got him back to 3 guys, which means a huge boost in consistency for the deck. Now, yes, we did have Ignis Heat at 3 before, which is cool, allows us to search out the spells, but realistically, like we all understand, or we should understand, that the traps really make the deck that much more stronger, because it allows you to, of course, pop your opponent's monsters, whereas the spells allow you to pop your opponent's spells trap. So having said that, guys, that is a huge boost to the deck, and I'm really excited to go ahead and show you guys my list for, again, the true Draco deck for October 2022 ban list. So if you guys do enjoy these types of videos, go ahead and leave a like down below, subscribe for more, and let's get right into the deck profile. Alright guys, so here we have our list. Now, I did see a few other YouTubers, different builds and takes on the overall strategy for true Draco, especially Spanko. If you guys obviously have not subscribed to Spanko, definitely go ahead and do so. But I understand what he was saying when he was saying that running the Monarch's Erupt is a little bit redundant because you already are playing Skill Drain at 3, of course, and we'll get to that more here in a second. But I do like the more extra deck strategy of the deck. I think it gives the deck a lot more viability. I think it gives the deck an extra interruption, if you will. So let's go ahead and get through the profile, guys, and go ahead and explain to you guys my card choices, things like that. So start out with the monsters, guys. We have 3 copies of Dynamite, the true Draco fighter. This I've been so excited to get this to come back. I'm still waiting for Masterpiece to come back, or for Draconic Diagram that could be back at more than 1, just so that deck can have an even bigger boost in its overall power and consistency as well. But it's okay for now. We can go ahead and play with this, of course. So 3 copies of Dynamite Knight, the true Draco fighter. Search out your traps. We got 1 copy of Ignis Heat, search out your spells, and we got 1 copy of the Majesty Maiden to search out our monsters, whether it's Ignis Heat or or Dynamite Knight. So, like I said before, the traps are really what makes the deck that much better. In my personal opinion, the spells add a lot of draw power, consistency, grindability, where the traps have a lot more effective interruption, being able to pop your opponent's monsters, things like that. So that is something to keep in mind. Both spells and traps for the deck are really good, but I tend to prefer the traps of the deck a lot more. So that's why I'm leaning a little bit more in the heavier for the Dynamite Knight. You are still going to be needing, of course, the Ignis Heat. This is not a deck that you have to play a whole bunch of monsters in. Hand traps kind of are irrelevant. You are playing Mystic Mine in this deck. This deck is very good going second, being able to tribute over. It doesn't special summons or anything that restricts special summoning is completely out the window against this deck. So that's what makes this deck really good. So that's going to be for the monsters, guys. Nothing too crazy there. 4 side deck options, if you guys are wondering. Amano Iwado. Let me go ahead and type this in for you guys. Amano Iwado is a phenomenal going second card for true Draco. I'm going to go ahead and put this down here. So if you guys are going second and you're playing true Draco, this immediately shuts off all of the non-spirit effect monsters on the field. So it's really good because it shuts off your opponent's. It's like a Dark Ruler no more for the deck, because you are all the spells do give you additional tribute summons, additional normal summons essentially on your turn. So, and then the traps let you tribute summon on your opponent's turn. So you're not really missing out on much, and unless you go about your plays completely uninterrupted. So that's a really good one, as well as Inspector Border. This is more of a going first card, but it really just depends on the format as to what card you want to play. I have seen previous builds that have Inspector Border in the main board. I just think there's definitely a lot stronger spells, traps you can go ahead and include. And like I said, we're gonna get to those in just a second, but in case you want some more side deck, main deck monster options as well. So for the spells, we are running the Double Desires and 1 card of Demise over Extravagance or Prosperity, even though we do have the extra deck version. So what's my reasoning behind this, guys, is that the cards Extravagance and the Power Prosperity, they both state that you cannot draw cards for the next turn. Right, so at the very last line, you cannot draw cards by effects the turn you activate this card, which is very contradicting with already 2 cards in the true Draco strategy alone, without adding any other of our consistency cards either. So true Draco Heritage will allow us to draw cards up to the number of card types that were sent to the graveyard this turn, monster, spell, trap. So you can draw up to 3 cards with this in theory. And then True Draco Disciples allow us to shuffle back 3 True Draco True King cards in our graveyard, and then draw a card as well. So being able to have those additional draws is huge in the game, and that's why I'm not playing Extravagance or Prosperity in this deck. Anything extra deck related is strictly going to be for 1 card in our trap lineup. That's going to be Dogmatic of Punishment. But I'll get to the traps in just a little bit more, guys. I just want to go ahead and explain, I guess, a little bit more my theory behind the extra deck version of the True Dracos. Next, we play 1 Card of the Demise. Card of the Demise is busted in this deck, so why not play it? 1 Terraform to search out our 1 copy of Draconic Diagram. It is still limited, unfortunately, but hopefully, again, we get it to 3. Or maybe we get Masterpiece back. If Masterpiece comes back, that would completely change the scope of the game, and I think this deck would most likely be a top tier contender, if not one of the best decks of the format. Just putting it out there, plain simple, straight up. So anyway, 3 copies of the True Draco Disciples, 3 copies of Heritage, really good cards, already went over them. 3 copies of Duality. Like I said, you don't really special summon in this deck. If anything, True King's Return is the only card that allows you to special summon, but even then you're doing it during your opponent's turn half the time, so you should be just fine from there. 2 copies of Mystic Mine, really important as well, because it allows you to buy time, essentially, in order to be able to go about your plays, things like that. So that's going to be it for the spells, guys. Another really good part of Prosperity is with Dynamite Knight coming to 3, I don't fear banishing some of my traps, things like that, because I know that I'm going to be able to search out the ones that I need. This was a very heavily updated card back in the day, and I still think it's going to be one of the better ones for this specific lineup. So that's going to be for the spells, guys. Like I said before, now on to the traps. With the card I mentioned prior is Dogmatic of Punishment. I think this is fantastic for the overall deck. Fair Sheet to shuffle back a card in your hand you don't like. Totally awesome for any XC shenanigans because it can put itself back. Add Ignister gives you more interruptions. Intis gives you more interruptions. Garura lets you draw a card. Fossil Skull Knight gets you, again, more interruptions. So overall, it's just you're trying to fill up your extra deck with as many cards that just provide interruptions for potentially activating all 3 of the Dogmatic Punishments. Now, the only thing I would say about this is that I could not find more cards from the extra deck that were, when they're sent to the graveyard, gain better effects than these. If you guys know any, definitely let me know in the comment section down below so I can add them, but these are going to be the best ones moving forward. Next, for other traps we play 3, there can be only 1. Self-explanatory, cards nuts. We play 3 copies of Rivalry. Card's nuts. 3 copies of Skill Drain. Card is still nuts, surprisingly. And then 3 copies of True King's Return and 3 copies of True Draco Apocalypse. A lot of people really do not give True Draco Apocalypse the credit it deserves. It is a phenomenal card. Just being able to manipulate the attack points of all your opponent's monsters while also getting rid of a spell trap you might control to then interrupt your opponent by popping something they control is just insane. Really good. And then for grindability, True King's Return is probably going to be the best True King card, honestly, just flat out. Being able to constantly special summon True Draco monsters from your graveyard is actually really good, because you can always tribute them off. If anything, you're not going to get a pop from it, but it gives you a free tribute in the event that you are really trying to hold on to the current spell traps that you currently have. So that's going to be it for the main deck, guys. 40 card main deck. And I think I already went over the extra deck, guys. 2 Fossil Warrior, 3 Garura, 3 Entis, 1 Omega, double Wind Pegasus at Ignister, 1 Totally Awesome, and 3 Fergie. That way you cover all the bases for a potential Ultimate Slayer play as well. This is going to be phenomenal in the side deck. So I think if your side deck looks a little bit like 3 Amano Iwado, 3 Ultimate Slayer, I would put in probably Spell Canceller and Solemn Judgment just to prevent yourself from getting Harpy's Feather Dustered. Yeah, pretty much just so you don't get Harpy's Feather Duster, so you don't get Cosmic on a really important card. Is something that the deck does lack in its main deck, so that is something you are gonna want to put in the side deck moving forward. You can also play Super Polymerization in this deck and have just Garura go off essentially, and then tribute the Garura for your True Dracos and then gain its effects that way. So that is going to be really cool, guys, especially moving forward. I'm considering what else I can potentially add to this for after Darkwing Blast. I don't think there's any continuous spells traps that I would consider running with this. I did mess around a little bit with a Cash Money, whatever that deck is called, Shangri-La deck, whatever, man. Because it does have continuous spells traps with True Draco then plays with, but then the True Draco monsters are only level 6, so it doesn't really flow that well. But I am still messing around with it. You know, maybe it's something that we can potentially look at down the line. But this is going to be it for the deck profile, guys. Again, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. I think True Draco is going to be, or is, I should say, one of the better rogue strategies of our current format. And I think it's going to continue to be that way. The more cards that it gets back, the second Masterpiece or Diagram get an increase in their availability. This deck is, I'm telling you right now, going through the roof again. It has so much power and so much compatibility and adaptability that it can just be put in any format and be successful if it's at full power. So that's going to be it for the deck profile. I think it's the third time I say this, guys, but I keep, you know, thinking more things to say. But anyway, if you guys did stick around to the end, I really appreciate you guys so much. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.